Hi YouTubers, welcome to one of my videos. And I'm in the garage, and over the years of being a radio amateur, I found it quite difficult to be a hobby because the price of radios is shot through the roof, and they're outside my price range, because some of the radios I'd like to purchase £1,000 to £2,000, £1,000 to £2,000, and some are £3,000, and with all the extra stuff you need, like a desk mic and probably an ATU and all the rest of it, it's out of my price range. And at my age, coming up to 70 this year, would I like to spend that money just on myself, or should I put that money for both of us to have several holidays throughout the years? So that's the issue. But the other thing, I tend to work portable operation, not parts on the air or summits on the air or castles on the air. I don't do that. I just find a nice hill somewhere and I walk up it and I'll set up my kit and go on the air. Now then, the aerials that are available for HF operation, for portable operation, are very heavy, and it's all very well if you can get your car parked near, but when it's like 4, maybe 5 miles, you don't want to walk up the hill, leave your kit there and walk back and get your radios or your aerials or your battery pack, because you'll find it might not be there when you get back up again. And unless you're with several people who can help you carry the kit, which I'm not, I'm generally on my own, so it's very difficult. So I actually made my own portable aerial system. So just show you these are some loading coils, bottom loaded coils for a whip aerial I made for different bands. Some are dual band, some are single band, and basically the telescopic rod threads onto the top. So I'll just show you those. These are made from plastic pipe, and the fittings for connections are threaded adapters, and this end is brake pipe fittings, and the top end is M10, because the telescopic aerial I'll use is got an M10 thread on. But these are not the ones I necessarily carry when I'm up top. I've got another coil in here in this bag, and my aerial system fits in this yoga bag. Then obviously I've got another bag for the radio, microphone and the power supply. But I'll open up the bag and lay some of the contents out so you can see them. Okay, so this is what's come out of the bag, and I'll go through these individually. Now I'm going to put these other bits out the way, because I don't want those to get confused with what I'm talking about. Right, out of the way. So what I've got is, these are the ground radials here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 ground radials, and they're 5 meters long. Now the coil here will actually work on the 20 meter band and the 40 meter band, and on the 20 meter band the coil is actually not needed. I just put this crocodile clip onto the top and short the coil out. It's not needed. Now when I'm running the 20 meter band, I use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 ground radials, and when I'm on the 40 meter band I only run 4, because I put these in series. They've got car connectors so they can be connected in series. And then there's a telescopic aerial, and that threads into here, Nice and simple. And then obviously there's a coax cable goes to the transceiver and a couple of other bits of wire. So how does this system go together? And I'll try and put it together temporary to show you, but it's quite simple to do. Okay, so in the bag is all this kit laying down, and the first thing that I need to do is erect the tripod. Now this tripod is a selfie picture tripod. You can pick them up for, I think they're £16, not very dear at all, and I attach that to the ground using tent pegs which are in this bag, and in this bag is tent pegs, some guy ropes if it's windy day and things like that. Now the first thing I do is, once I've sort of roughly put the tripod in where I want it, there, this is my ground plane kit, and very easily that sits on the top of there like that. There we go. Sorry, the light's coming under the garage door. I'll shut the garage door and make it a lot easier to see. It says, there we go. This is looking it in. Right, you can see that. That's the ground plane plate, and that sits on there. Next thing that goes on is a loading coil. Threads on there. Like that. Nice and simple. There's extra leads on here for different things, and then the main aerial, which is a telescopic, which is this, threads into the top. There's my shorting link if I need it. If I'm on the 20 metre band, I don't use a coil at all. I can just pop that on there. He says, oh, there you go. It goes on there anyway. The coax goes on here, which is a right angle PL259, and then I just adjust the length and number of sections depending on the frequency band I'm on, whether it's 40 or 20 meters. See, it's very tight. The number of sections is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 sections. And then I can raise the tripod. There's adjusters here so you can raise it up. It's a bit difficult to do outside, it's very windy, but I'll just sort of try and give you a demonstration of my portable aerial system for those two frequencies. I'll just take this off a minute and thread that. I'm threading the telescopic bit. Just do that back up, and I'll put the tripod up so you can see how high it goes. Okay, so that's the tripod there. That's just one section that's up, and I can go up with another section here even higher. And that's where the loading coil will be. You see it's right there now. You're going to say, well, hang on a minute, the radials the earth radials are quite high up. Well, that's a good idea really, because when the coil's right down, the angle of the ground radials changes, doesn't it? If it's low to the ground, they're going to be more like that, the earth radials, and when the coil's higher up, it's like that. So the radiation pattern coming off the coil and the aerial changes just by changing the height of the tripod, and that determines, you know, whether the radio wave is going to bounce off the clouds or not. And this is really how simple it is, and my system. And I can carry this, so it all goes in a yoga bag. Now, what do I do for recording the stations I contact? I use pen and paper in that plastic bag there, as well as extra guy ropes supporting this if it's windy. There's a book and a pen, and as simple as that. I can't remember the length of this area when it's the telescopic bit when it's open, but what I'll do is I'll go and take it outside and actually extend it so you can see it. Okay, I've laid the tripod on the ground so you can see this is where the legs are, sit on the floor. Okay, and this is the length of the tripod to the coil, which is there, and then I'll walk along the telescopic section to the very end and keep going, keep going, keep going. It's here. It's difficult to see in this light, but I'll actually measure the length of the telescopic section. Now I found my tape measure, so the telescopic section fully extended, there's a tape measure along it, that's 5 meters to there, so it's 5.3 meters from the top of the loading coil to the very end. Now from the bottom of the loading coil, or the ground plane connections, to the very end of the tripod, it's 1.7 meters. I wouldn't fully extend the tripod, to be honest, when I'm doing transmitting. I tend to leave it one section down, and it's the same with the actual top telescopic section. I don't have the very thin ones out. So how do I know how to SWR it? Well, very simply, I've recorded the settings in my notebook, which is in there, and that tells me the SWR settings for the different lengths of the telescopic section and which coil I'm using. Now, referring to my notebook, and I've got recordings for all the different coils I've made. This coil here is the one I use, and basically 40 meter band, obviously 7 meg, 6 extensions of the top telescopic, and without tapping the coil I have an SWR of 1.4 to 1, and that's simply by how many sections of the top section I have out. For the 20 meter band I have 9 sections out, including the bottom, up and down. Okay, I short the coil out, so in actual fact on the 20 meter band the actual coil is not required, and I short the coil out, and that gives me an SWR 1.2 to 1. Now the coil itself is roughly 35 turns on 43mm diameter. Now my other coils, it's similar. This one does 20mm and 40 again with that, and that's 22 turns, and then I've got a short coil, and that gives me the 10-meter band as well. So that gives me 20-meter, 40 and 10, and there's all sorts of combinations I can use, and in fact I can put 2 coils in series and things like that, and it seems to work extremely well. Why it works for me is because the weight of it, I can carry it myself. I can carry that, the transmitter and the battery. I can do that. Now what I do for my camper van when I want to put the aerial on it, and I'll give you a show you how that works as well. Now for my camper van motorhome, obviously I don't need the tripod, and on the back of it, the van is a bike rack which is aluminium. A lot of the van is plastic and fiberglass, so there's not generally a good earth plane. And what I do, you can see I made this bracket. This goes round the top rail of the bike carrier on the back of the van. The aerial coil threads on there. You see the thread that goes on there like that, and this bunch of wires goes on to there, and they're the ground plane. And there's 1, 2, 3, I think there's either 4 or 6 there, I never can remember. So they go on to there, and then the coax is the same, and the telescopic sections exactly the same, and the recordings are the same in number of sections, so it means that all works. Now the other thing I can do with this bracket is, I'll show you that next. I'm just going to stop the camera again while I set it up. Now by using the same fixing on the bike rack, I can thread this metal rod in here. That'll be vertical on the bike rack. This allows me to clear the roof of the van by a good foot, maybe more than that in distance, so I can get a clear takeoff for mesh-tastic or mesh core, or even I can put my TV aerial on top of this, because these are magnetic, so that magnetically goes on there, and that goes on the bike rack, and that gives me mesh-tastic setup. Just tidy that wire up there, feed that to the Heltec, and I've got my external aerial for my Heltec mesh-tastic or mesh core setting. So it's all quite a compatible system, and I'm quite pleased with the way it works, and it works for me, all this system together. I've looked at similar aerial systems or portable aerial systems around, and a lot of them, they're very big, very heavy, difficult to put up, you know, if you're on your own, and this is quite versatile, and it's cheap, you know. It's, what's the tripods? I thought I bought 2 of those for, I think they were £16. I think it was £20 for the telescopic. All the bits and pieces are like car connectors, which I had lying around. This was scrap metal, a couple of wing nuts, a couple of U-bolts. All these coils were made using garden wire and SO239 sockets. very simple setup, and the thing about it, I can carry it in that one bag. I can carry all of this. Don't need all the coils, they're all experimental. Take the best coil with me that suits what I'm doing that day, and it all goes in that one bag. It's a yoga bag, and really good. The only additions I would do is the guy ropes. I need some more tent pegs at the moment. I don't know what I've done with them. Well, I thought I'd finish with this video, but I decided to do a small modification to it and an improvement. It's only a minor one, but I did have it blow over, and when I was up on Stanton Moor, and I thought, well, a simple answer would be to be able to put tent pegs directly into the tripod legs rather than having things here, you know, through here. So what I've done, I've drilled holes through the metalwork so I can have tent pegs, so I can put it into the soft ground. And of course it doesn't add weight to the kit, because I have tent pegs with it anyway. It's only a small change, and hopefully it'll work. But I've been eyeing up one of these, what's it called, a DX Commander, and it's difficult to tell from the videos and things I've seen of it how small it is when it's folded up, and what the weight is of it to take it on a portable sort of operation where I've got to walk up a hill which could be 3 or 4, maybe 5 miles carrying it. Well, I know with this I can manage it, even with my power supply and also the radio, and I can even manage to take what's called a bivvy table with me to put the radio on. And if you don't know what a bivvy table is, this is one here. It's a little fold up table, and my radio and the power unit will fit on here very nicely, and that's, you know, quite lightweight. Put that back, and my power unit, I'll just show you it. There's my power unit, a golf trolley battery, and there's the adapter, and that gives me 2 12-volt outlets and also 2 USBs charging point, as well as that indicator there will actually give me the battery. It's an LED displaying that as well, and that will give me the indication of the battery, and I say that connects on there. So that's the power source for the radio I take. So that is finally it for this video. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like.